Hey guys, it's Ben. It is Friday afternoon. I am chilling, uh, house sitting a little bit, which is kind of my equivalent of it's my poor man's vacation. Uh, so yeah, I'm cool with that. Um, Outlaw Nights is currently 24% funded. Um, That's right. We are 24% funded, and we've got about 29 days left. It's actually going to be a little bit less. It's going to be 28 days tonight. So be sure to get in on that. Um, oh, yeah. Also, well, the link for it is in the description below. You know, I'm so used to prattling it off that when it slips my mind, it's it's weird for me. Um, but yeah, we got that going, and right now the posters for the secret tier. I don't know how many of you people watching ordered the secret tier, but just in case. The posters are on their way to me right now. Um, and once I get them, I'm going to give them one last look over and I'm going to mail them out right away. Um, so I should be getting those within the next day or two. And I am going to let everybody know via email and via update about, estimated shipping dates and whatnot. So, good stuff. Um, anyway, uh, I'll tell you, I've been talking a lot about Kingdom Hearts and all, and I was doing Birth by Sleep, and I was gonna finish the game, and I was gonna kind of critique it a little bit on this YouTube channel, but in all honesty, I got so effing bored while I was playing it. I couldn't stand it. I put it. I had to turn it off. I had to put it. Um, as interesting as the story can get, it's really not that worth it. At least for me right now. I mean, I remembered the first time I played through it, I enjoyed it a lot, and it's just really confusing. Why? Well, not confusing. I guess it was just a little. It kind of caught me off guard that I finally just got bored with it, and I was just like, to hell with it. But yeah, it's really like, you know, the biggest issue with it is that everything feels so quick. Everything kind of cuts to the point really fast in that game. And it just kind of, it's like I don't feel any emotional investment with it whatsoever. It, I mean, you feel for the characters, no doubt. But there's, it's like you almost kind of wish you could just like, well, for me at least, I wish I could just like, it's like I want to just look up a YouTube video and just look at the cutscenes. You know what I mean? Because it's really, yeah, it's like as a video game, it felt very factory made. It felt very assembly line. Um, that's the best description I can give it. Whenever like I play certain games, and it's like everything feels so formulaic and so quick that it's like you just feel like they really didn't think too far outside, didn't really think too much outside of the box. I mean, they do, with certain aspects of gameplay, but it always feels very rushed, feels very forced. And I don't, that's just kind of a weird peeve of mine, I guess, is like, I don't know. I want, I feel like it's like you want to bring, something to the table, like to kind of grab people's interest. And I understand it's hard nowadays because I mean almost everything's been done, you know, like or at least to our knowledge, you know. I'm sure smarter minds than my own maybe plotting revolutions in gaming. Um, but you know, yeah. So I got bored by Birth by Sleep. Um, I don't think I'm really gonna touch any more Kingdom Hearts for a while, in all honesty. 'Cause the third one to me was, you know, it was kind of a franchise killer for me. But I mean, um, well, all right, I'm being unfair in that assessment. I think the franchise killers kind of came before, but because I honestly feel like with Kingdom Hearts, you could have ended that story at two. Just not, you know, like you could have cut it at two. That could have been the end. Like really, everybody's little storylines all got wrapped up at the end of that game. And it was a fun game. It was. I mean, the first one will always be the best, but I mean, it was still like the number two was a good way to go out, I think. But obviously, everybody wanted more, and so they sort of had to pull together some more story arcs. But it got really complex for a Disney property, which I kind of liked about it, but it also kind of works against it. Um, but yeah, good stuff. Still watching Smallville. I still like it a lot. I think I'm somewhere in season 8. I think I just started season 8. I have a new critique though. They were trying to do way too much of the future story arcs in this, which I find was like it was the same. They did the same thing with Gotham, where it was like everybody felt like they were kind of running out of material, I guess. And so they were, you know, they were basically pulling material from the story arcs of Batman and Superman and like bringing it, you know, making it to where, oh, it happens when they're younger, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't really like that. I feel like there's different ways you could play around with the origins of these characters, different ways to kind of make more sense. I don't think you necessarily have to pull from the future story arcs too much. I don't mind it somewhat, you know, like I don't mind introducing future villains in the younger years. I like that. I'm talking about like how you know, like I think like where I am in Smallville, there's like this apocalyptic world-ending shit going on with Brainiac, and I'm thinking to myself like, well, what's gonna happen when he's Superman? Like, but the whole point is like when he's Superman, that's when he really takes on these guys, like gives it to them. And then, you know, and the fact that basically everybody knows his secret at this point, that part kind of bugs me a little bit, just because it's, you know, there's no point to the secret identity if everybody knows. But at the same time, with Superman, considering the fact that he's not wearing a mask or anything, like it can kind of work for his character, because you know, really there's not that, you know, like unlike every other guy, you know, like everybody else wears a fairly convincing disguise. He doesn't even try to cover up his face, you know, he just takes off his glasses and messes with his hair a little bit. It's not enough to conceal his identity. But I think maybe in a way that kind of works to kind of a unique angle you can play with Superman. Because the problem with Superman is that there's not a lot of there's not too much interesting room with him. You know, he's very much. I would say the character in some ways is kind of a Gary Stu. Well, not in the traditional sense. Like, he's not. But at the same time, he is very much, he's very overpowered. There's very little that can hurt him, so it's good to add things that can be a weakness or something that can be exploited against him, you know. Anyway, I think that's a good place to cut it for right now. Thank you so much. If you like anything I have to say, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at FusiliER, Fuselier. Also, be sure to check out Indiegogo. We are in the final 30 days of this campaign, so let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.